All right, everybody, please welcome another Voicebox virgin. Have you told a story before? No. Here he comes. He brought props, everybody. Give it up for Robert Rydin.
I'm a man. I'm not going to apologize. To paraphrase one of my soulmates, Kermit the Frog, it's hard being man. Particularly in these times. Didn't used to be that way. Let's go back to the 1970s, the years I became a man. The 1970s. Anyone here remember the 1970s? What was man? Real men don't eat sushi. I like sushi and will eat it with no threat to my masculinity. Definition of a real woman in the 1970s? Big tits and trust funds. Try sharing that on Megyn Kelly Today talk show. And I like trust funds. The year's 1972, Southern Methodist University, Dallas, Texas, SMU. I had graduated from Hinsdale Central 2 years earlier. SMU is known as Hinsdale South. SMU had, and still does, have a reputation for attracting the daughters and sons of well-to-do parents who feel it comforting in sending their child to a Southern Christian university. SMU is Southern. SMU is university, and an excellent one. Christian? Not so much. I never met a single student who went to chapel. Now, I was a man at SMU, not just a man, but a frat man, a fraternity man. My brotherhood was Phi Gamma Delta, Fiji. We had a frat house on Fraternity Row, a house bursting with testosterone. To the west of our house were the SAEs, or known as the Bottle Throwers West. To the east were the Betas, or Bottle Throwers East. Now, what could be more manly than throwing empty beer bottles from the fire escape of your frat house at your neighbors? Being in the middle, we were often exposed to crossfire, lots of broken glass, but no injuries. The Fijis were known for superlative academic achievements and athletic prowess. How I got in, I don't know, it remains a mystery. But I had one extraordinary accomplishment that put me in the SMU Fiji Hall of Fame, and that is what this story is about. 1973, my junior year, I met and started dating a Theta. Now, the Thetas were the hottest sorority on campus. Her name was, get this, Amy Hailstone. Does anyone here know Amy Hailstone? Good. That's a relief. What a name. Amy Hailstone. That was her real name. Unlike Marilyn Monroe or Stormy Daniels, Amy was hot. A young Marilyn Monroe lookalike. I knew this wasn't going to last. One day she came to me with some great news. She was now taking birth control pills. I wasn't sure what to think. It was nothing we had never discussed, but it seemed like great news. Not long thereafter, Amy ended our relationship. It seemed she had been recruited by the SMU Mustang football team recruiters, recruiting promising high school football players. I was led to believe there was a connection, but I'm not sure. Anyway, now Amy Hailstone had a roommate, and her name was Becky Schneebly. Anyone here know Becky Schneebly? It doesn't matter because we were on the up and up. Becky took a liking to me, perhaps out of pity, and suggested we take scuba diving lessons together. We did, and we both got certified. We never went scuba diving. With that accomplishment, she suggested I try out to become an SMU lifeguard at the natatorium. Natatorium, if you're not familiar with the word, is an old name for an indoor swimming facility. I did that and got a job as a lifeguard in this old, dark, cold facility. Now, SMU is a very prominent collegiate force in swimming and diving. Coach McMillan, who hired me, was a well-respected swimming coach. Richard Quick, his successor, who remarked once I looked a whole lot better in my Speedo after losing weight. Little did he know it was from taking amphetamines from an unscrupulous doctor. He became an Olympic swimming coach. It was announced that year that construction would begin on a new outdoor swimming and diving facility. Oh my God. The new swimming complex was complete. Beautiful facility with ample geography for SMU's finest to lay down their beach towel and soak up the Texas sun. So my job was to sit up in a perch with an SMU-approved lifeguard Speedo. Getting nervous? This is my lifeguard perch, or a reasonable facsimile. So my job, as I said, was to sit on a perch with an SMU-approved Speedo and look after the safety of my fellow students. Now, one of the skills all lifeguards must master is the swinging of the whistle lanyard. Now, there are two methods. One is the finger wrap. I shall attempt to demonstrate. The other, much more difficult and sometimes dangerous, is around the world. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Besides the whistle and Speedo, our daily hot sun exposure required I got to get off my perch. Required essentials for survival. Hydration. Yep. Johnson's baby oil. SPF minus 30. Remember, this was the 1970s. And as lifeguards, we took our responsibilities quite seriously. Hey, you two! Stop that immediately. Geez, get a room. But then came the blow to reality. I was approached by an unknown woman who gave me gut-wrenching news. As an SMU lifeguard, I was required to perform in the annual and much celebrated performance of the Southern Methodist University's synchronized swimming, in other words, water ballet team, the SMU Aquaettes. My mind is racing. Fiji, football, soccer, rugby, water ballet. Well, I thought I'd been called to a higher purpose. I must engage and excel. Unfortunately, this event takes place in January, so it is held in the cold, dark, depressing venue of the natatorium. I don't remember the practice sentence, but I do remember one particular act that haunts me to this day. So let's create this visual.
Nose clips. Remember when they remember when they used to be flesh colored and had a rubber band? Well, no more. Now you get these, no-seum nose clips.
I thought better and left the Speedo at home. Now, there are probably a dozen performers for this act, half aquaettes, the women, and half lifeguards, the male. We are lined up parallel to the length of the pool, floating on our backs, or trying to. I have an aquaette with her feet wrapped around my neck. I wrap my feet around the neck of the adjacent aquaette. We are all staring at the ceiling, at the lights above the natatorium, wondering if these are the last lights we will ever see on this earth. Now, I have to explain the act. It's kind of like an aeronautical inward loop, except it's done in the water. So we're lined up like this, upside down, and then the first person starts a backwards roll down towards the bottom of the pool, and the next person is pulled down by the feet around the neck, and then we try to go across the bottom of the pool and hopefully can hold our breath long enough to get back to the top. Okay, so now the music begins. This is tough. This is a tough thing. So with each beat of the music, we extend our arms and make a stroke. Not knowing exactly when I will be pulled underwater by my feet around my neck, I do everything possible to fill my lungs with life-giving oxygen before I am pulled under the depth of the pool. Under I am pulled, I see the diving board wall of the pool. I see the bottom of the pool slowly moving by my face. My nose is now ascending to be vertical again. I can see the other end of the pool. I can see the surface. My head breaks the surface. I blow like a whale. I've survived. I've survived the water ballet. I praised the support of several of my close Fiji brothers who witnessed this event. My Fiji membership remained intact. Fortunately, there were no betas or SAEs in the audience. And finally, I looked up Amy Hailstone on Facebook not long ago. There she was on the French Riviera, doing what with whom, who knows. Thanks for listening.